Rolex bought a meteor that landed on Earth in 1838. And when they bought this, they said, you know what, let's get creative. Let's make some watch dials out of this. And it's definitely one of the most demanded dials in the world right now. What's up, GQ? I'm Moses the jeweler based out of New York City Diamond District. And today we're gonna be looking at celebrities and the crazy watches that they wear. Pharrell Williams. Got a Pharrell rocking a crazy RM88. In order to get your hands on this, it comes at a crazy price tag. I believe Pharrell did pay around $1.2 million for this piece. That's a mansion almost anywhere in the world. Richard Mille definitely has fun when he designs his watches, especially for people like Pharrell. You know, Pharrell needed something like this that's extremely bright and that he could show off to the people. Because something like this, you're not gonna find on anyone's wrist. They only make 50 of these in the world. So over here, you got Pharrell wearing a RM7402 with a automatic tourbillon movement. And of course, you see Pharrell wearing it with this gorgeous rose gold factory bracelet that does come from RM. And it gives it such a different look. You don't see watches with this type of bracelet on. Richard Mille knows how to stand out. And it's almost impossible to make a name for yourself in this generation in the watch world, because of course you're going against names like Rolex, Audemars, and Patek Philippe, which have been doing this since the 1800s. But Richard Mille really came into the game in the early 2000s, and he's the watch that everyone wants now. You have the biggest names wearing them. People are paying the craziest price tags in the world for these type of pieces. They're extremely limited to come across. It's the high-end G-Shock of the world now. As you can see, you get this bright red look. Everyone goes crazy over it. I mean, the mechanism in here is just incredible. What Richard Mille did especially is he has like that skeletonized look where you can actually see the whole entire movement inside. You can see the balance wheel. You can see everything that's going on in there. Again, it's just its rarity that people go crazy about. And when you wear a piece like this, you can see this from a mile away. This bright red stands out crazy. I know you could get a G-Shock that's also bright red that would run you around $50, but a piece like this could run you close to $400,000. You got Pharrell wearing the RM5205 tourbillon. When you see this watch, you think Pharrell Williams, because he was the first one that got this. When you look at that enamel work that was done in the dial, you see the reflection of the moon from the astronaut's glass. And then you have the earth also over there. I mean, to capture all this detail, to do this in enamel and then put it in a watch, unbelievable. If you're a person who appreciates watches, this has to be in your top 5. Pharrell's watch, I believe, is the only RM52 with the astronaut that has the sapphire case. Because if you can see the two different photos, the case on that is a metal case, and then the one that Pharrell is wearing is the sapphire crystal, which is, again, very special, very hard to do. All custom cut crystal to fit the case. Extreme amounts of work and extremely special. JAY-Z. This is the Michael Jordan of all watches over here. What we have here, we got JAY-Z wearing a Patek Philippe 5711 Nautilus with the Tiffany blue dial. You got that Tiffany stamp on there. And when you're wearing this piece, you're probably gonna know the person who's wearing it also, because you can't get your hands on this. The first one was sold in auction for $6.5 million. And if you wanna get one today, you're gonna be probably paying a hefty price tag of over $3 million. Tiffany and Patek, when they made this watch together, they said, let's make 170 pieces to represent the amount of years since our first collaboration. So imagine Tiffany and Patek were working for 170 years together, and they're paying homage to the anniversary, coming out with such a unique piece that every single person wants, but unfortunately not everyone can get. Tom Cruise. We got Tom Cruise here. See him wearing a nice Cartier Santos. Again, it's funny to see it plain because I've seen this watch iced out more than I've seen it plain. But again, very classic look. You know, a very good starter piece, something that's gonna run you around that $6,000 ballpark. It's cool to see somebody as big as Tom Cruise wear just such like a classic, low-key Cartier Santos, stainless steel with that white dial that goes crazy. Again, if you're looking for your first watch, you don't wanna break the bank, of course. You know, some people, they have budgets of over 100,000, some people have budgets of 10,000, but then I get questions every single day. People ask me, what can I get? I have a 4K budget, 5K budget, 6K budget. Can never go wrong with a nice vintage Rolex, something back from like the 70s, a nice 36mm Datejust, which again, iconic piece, something I will never go out of style. If you want a modern day piece, you go for the Cartier Santos like we see Tom Cruise rocking over here. You know, there's watches for every single budget, and that's the coolest part about watches. You're never right or wrong buying a watch. It's as long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. Denzel Washington. First of all, shout out Denzel. My hat goes off to him. I love Denzel. And over here, we got him wearing a very humble piece, enjoying a nice G-Shock on his wrist. Still got a nice look to it also. It got that nice little bulky look. definitely shows out. Again, a piece like this is also a gorgeous watch to get into if you don't have that high budget to buy yourself a Rolex or an AP. This is definitely a watch I would add in my own collection. So this specific G-Shock that Denzel is wearing goes for around $380 on the retail side. There's also many other affordable G-Shocks that will run you around like $80 to $100. Some gorgeous pieces. They call it the army watch. It's what all the soldiers wear. So if this could withstand war, it could also withstand probably anything that you do on your day-to-day basis. Mark Wahlberg. When you're Mark Wahlberg and you have a collection that's worth multi-millions of dollars, you can come out, wear a nice Timex that probably ran around $80 and rock it and look extremely swaggy in it too, you know? It's cool to know that somebody who has so much money is still able to wear such a subdued piece. It makes people that don't have the crazy amount of money rock these type of pieces too. Mark Wahlberg being such a big influencer, people want to copy his style. And when you see him wearing a Timex, you say, you know what? I'm gonna throw a Timex on my wrist also. We also got Mark Wahlberg wearing this extremely rare olive green dial platinum day-date 40. The way I could tell it's a day-date, first of all, is when you see that smooth bezel with the presidential links. That's your key to know that this is a platinum day-date. When you get into that olive green Arabic dial, extremely rare. They made a very finite amount of this. I wish Rolex did number their pieces. They don't. But if this is numbered, there's probably less than 500 in the world of these. And Mark Wahlberg is lucky to own one of these in his collection. Fat Joe. You have your plain Jane watches, but you also have your quintessential bust-down rapper watch. Joey Crack, baby. New York legend, first of all. I actually held this piece in person, and wow, the diamonds in there, unbelievable. Every stone there was cut special. Every stone does have a GIA certificate on it. Of course, when you're a Fat Joe, you need to sport a piece like this to really stand out. When you wear a piece like that, it's a legit chandelier on your wrist. It's like, wait, what is that? Avi, if you want to pass me one on the house, I'll take a pristine piece also. It's a gorgeous piece. And so the cool part is with these watches is that when it's done factory in-house, it will retain its value because the company that produces the watch and sets factory stones in it, they are willing to check on your watch and service it in the future, as opposed to setting aftermarket diamonds in your watch, where you take a plain Jane Rolex and you start setting it, Rolex will not check your watch. When your diamonds are set by the company, that makes it factory diamonds, that's the one that normally goes up in value. Like Drake said. In this watch that you see Fat Joe wearing, the pristine timepiece Avalanche, there's around 200 carats in diamonds, which is absurd. It's insanity. So your average iced out watch, something like this would hold around like 25 carats. So that is 10 times the amount. I mean, when you see the size of those stones, every single stone there could be its own engagement ring. So imagine how crazy it is. Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda. Crazy timepiece on his wrist. He's actually wearing two pieces, I see. He's got the Sky Dweller on his left wrist and the 8P on his right wrist, which is gorgeous. That Sky Dweller, he obviously said no budget, big rocks in the bezel, and then I want big rocks going down the middle of my band, which you don't see this many times in your bust-down Sky Dwellers. He definitely paid a hefty price for this piece. You have many different options to go with the bust-downs, but at the starter price, you're looking at around $20,000 and up for a nice big face bust-down. Everyone wanted the Cartier Santos iced out. During pandemic, that was like the one watch. I sold so many of them, I can't even count how many I sold. But when you go for a piece like that, you're gonna be looking at around that $20,000 range. And then of course you have bust downs like this AP that Bobby Shmurda's wearing that could probably ran him like 60, 70,000. So if you want to bust down your watch, you have to understand it's not going to be going up in value a lot. But if you do buy correctly, then you're not going to lose so much also, you know, because there is a market for it. Again, most of the time when you are going to buy an iced out watch though, you're not thinking of it being an investment or not. It's like going to Louis Vuitton and buying shirts and pants from Louis Vuitton. If you try to resell it, you're not gonna be getting so much back, you know, but you buy it because you enjoy it. It's definitely a flex. But if you're looking to get a watch that is a good investment and you're not gonna lose so much money in, you're best off going for a plain Jane or a watch with factory diamonds, which definitely retain its value much better than the one with the aftermarket diamonds. Drake, piece like this, extremely finite amount, and of course Drake is one of the people that do own them. Drake's Meteorite Factory Diamond Sky Dweller. It retailed for around $500,000, but if you wanted it today, it'll set you over $1 million. Rolex bought a meteor that landed on Earth in 1838, and when they bought this, they said, you know what, let's get creative. Let's make some watch dials out of this. And it's definitely one of the most demanded dials in the world right now. Everyone's calling, saying, I want the day-date with the Meteorite, I want the Daytona with the Meteorite, and these prices are going for way more than the regular dial. Drake went classy, kind of normal for him, but still an incredible piece. Day-date 40, yellow gold with the black baguette diamond dial. One of my favorite pieces personally. We actually have it over here to show you guys. The way those baguette hit on that black, it's unbelievable. You know, to have your hour markers set as baguettes is something so unique in my eyes, always catches my attention. Of course, that yellow gold with the black and the diamonds, one of my favorite combinations in the world. This one retails for around $39,000 at Rolex, and they're going for around the same price on the secondary market. The Weeknd, baby. You know, he's gotta have something special on his wrist. He's got a Patek Philippe 5167 Aquanaut in stainless steel. We actually got this piece right here. I love this piece. First of all, again, very low key. Doesn't stand out so much, but it's a if you know type piece. Most of the time you would think people pay big bucks to shine and be outlandish, but now people are paying the big bucks to be more low key. Frank Ocean. Incredible piece. There's so much going on in the dial. I'm like trying to figure out where to start right now. But of course you got that tourbillon balance wheel on the left side, and I love how he paired it. You have the subdued leather with the watch, and then he put that gorgeous white gold bracelet next to it to give it a little more pop and shine. And I just love the way it looks. So when AP made this, they made 150 pieces, but they also made 14 one-of-ones for AP's highest clientele. And of course, one of them is Pharrell Williams. And I believe that Frank Ocean actually bought this in the auction from Pharrell Williams. So this is actually one of Pharrell's pieces that Frank Ocean is sporting over here. Tyler, the Creator. You know, somebody like Tyler, he always wants to be different. When most people are wearing the Rolexes and the Richard Milles, Tyler said, you know what? Let me go crazy. Let me buy these very rare Cartiers and let me be different. Of course, when he does this, a lot of people like to follow the new trend that he has created. Only somebody like Tyler can really do something like this. That Cartier crash, I love the way that looks. Pops out. You know, you see that piece, you know it's something extremely different. You don't see watches that are done like that. Kanye sported it. I know JAY-Z has one in his collection. And when you see a piece like this, the first thing you think is mystery. Where did it come from? Who designed it? There are some stories that people say that it was involved in a car crash, that it was in a truck getting delivered to its Cartier store, and there was a car accident, and this is how it got its shape. A lot of people say that it's not true. The way that it was designed is still a mystery till today. It reminds me of like Salvador Dali. When you see that free form shape, it's definitely not your typical watch. It's something that stands out and it's like, wait, what is that? I need a closer look because it has that small case size, but it's also very different. It's like, I want to see what's going on your wrist when I see that piece. We got Tyler, the Creator, wearing a Cartier Opus Quadrant. Very different piece. Of course, you see how much metal there is surrounding that dial. So again, Cartier, I guess they like to stand out doing different style cases where you don't see on most watches. You know, very unique and very different. And of course, he's sporting it with a gorgeous orangey, lava-y style leather band. It stands out. And it's definitely very different. I don't know if it's my cup of tea, but Tyler's wearing it gorgeously, so I might have to add one to my own collection. We got Tyler wearing a Cartier Pebble, extremely rare piece. I'm assuming that Tyler, the Creator, could spend close to $500,000 on this piece, knowing the market on these. Everyone wants it, but also extremely, extremely rare. Of course, a man like Tyler needs one in his collection, needs something that's gonna stand out and that most people cannot get. Rihanna. This was special. Everyone went crazy in the Super Bowl when Rihanna wore this. We got Rihanna wearing a Jacob & Co. with this bright red glass encasing the skeletonized dial. Unbelievable. When it comes to Jacob and setting stones on his watches, it's the best. Shout out to Jacob for making these big icy pieces always so special. I mean, the work on this, it's a one-of-one, and when you see it, you think Rihanna. We're in a piece like this, you have nearly like 300 diamonds. I know there's around like 230 diamonds set on its case. And then of course you have diamonds on the crown and on its buckle. The cool part with Jacob is Jacob started as a jeweler before he created watches. So his knowledge and diamond setting and diamond selection, you see how he brought it over to watches. When you see a Jacob watch, most of the time there will be diamonds set in it, and most of the time it's perfect. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, again, just like most of these celebrities, they want to stand out differently. He said, you know what, I've been wearing Rolex for 20, 30 years. Let me give Hermes a chance. Let me see if this fetches me a couple different compliments or a couple different questions. Here's Ben Affleck in the Hermes Our Soleil de la Lune. I've personally not seen a lot of people wear it. So what you got over there, you see the contrast. So you have black in that dial and also white. So I'm assuming that it's this intricate mechanism over there. I believe it is a moon phase mechanism from the looks of it, with the two moons that you see on the dial that's done with, of course, precisely cut mother of pearl that they had to place intricately in the dial. This one cost $35,000. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Moses the Jeweler, signing out.